For the Confederate flag, well, a county commissioner here in the area took on the Confederate flag and its supporters and won. There was a museum here that was flying the flag, and of course, she said it's time to take that down. They decided to close the museum. My goodness, what in the world wrong with these folks? Dee Clemmons, of course, Henry County's first African-American female commissioner. How you doing?
I'm great this morning. Thank you.
All right, so what's the deal? What museum was this, and what did you tell them?
It was a 204-acre county-owned park that our county had taken by illegal eminent domain 10 years prior to me being elected. The flag had been flying for about 8 years. There was a private group that had basically moved in and started squatting on the county's property, opened up a Confederate museum, was selling...
Oh, stop, slow down. You had a county property?
County-owned property.
And they opened a Confederate museum on county property without permission?
Without permission. There was no written agreement, no lease, no funds that were paid to the county, and they had been there for 8 years prior to me being elected.
8 years?
8 years.
Nobody said, what the hell are y'all doing?
No one said anything.
Okay, then you stepped in.
Yeah, I got elected. I promised my constituents that I would make sure that this park became an inclusive park for the entire community. One of the things that my constituents was concerned about was that this Confederate flag was flying. The museum was there, that they were having reenactments of the Confederate Civil War, and it just wasn't a welcoming experience for the diverse community that I serve.
Now, what kind of museum was it?
It was a Confederate museum. It was supposed to be, they advertised it as a Civil War museum, but everywhere that I saw the flag, there was never the flag for the Union soldiers. It was always a Confederate flag. There were a few Union flags, but never side by side to display that this was both a Civil War museum for both the Union and the Confederacy flag.
Now, did you call for the museum to be shut down or just take the flag down?
You know, this became a battle of a simple request to a forceful demand. I made a simple request, and that was take it down. They turned it into a forceful demand to say that I bullied them. The little black girl came in and told us to shut it down and bullied us, and we no longer want to be politically correct. Enticed hate. I got all kinds of emails, Facebook posts, all kinds of stuff, just because I made a simple request, and I thought that it was a very request that should have been made. They didn't need to be on government-owned property.
So then what happened where it had to come down? What happened?
Initially, now this happened in March. The media didn't get it until May. But in March, I made some requests about whose flag is it. I asked the rest of my Board of Commissioners if they had an issue with the flag, that I had asked some questions, that the owner had voluntarily taken it down, and I told him to put it in his personal dwelling. So when that happened, everybody went silent. And then I went back in May and I visited the museum, and when I visited the museum and went inside, that's when I was able to see that there were other things inside of the museum that was just not inviting, from soldiers that had been hung because they disobeyed the Confederate soldiers. There were things all around the wall that dictated, that the fight was for slavery and taxation. It was an army fighting to keep slavery and a nation fighting for liberation. So I felt like I needed to step up and make sure that we were liberated there in Henry County.
So when did they close their doors?
May.
Close the doors in May.
Mm-hmm.
Did the other commissioners say anything?
In March, and there's an open record request that people can go in March, when I asked the commissioners, what was their stance on it. I said, speak now, forever hold your peace. I asked our county attorney, did I need to have a legal vote of action from the board? Nobody said anything. Nobody. Until May, when it hit the news media and the hate mail started and everything started, the NAACP got involved, then everybody was saying, well, Dee overstepped her boundaries. Dee overstepped her, and so they started asking for me to resign from office simply because I wanted a park to be inclusive and that we had squatters in the park. And it was my duty as a political officer to make sure that people pay their fair share of taxes, and that they need to have policies and procedures and lease agreements to be in county-owned property.
Well, the group Ideal has a song called Get the Hell On, Get Gone.
Bottom line.
Good job. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, way to go.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out. because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV1.